MJF said something about WWE that WWE themselves are afraid to admit. Plus, did we actually get a good Raw? Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to the Screw Script. I'm your host, as always, Maverick here. Thanks for joining me on this Wednesday night. You're probably watching this after Dynamite goes off the air. Let's get right into this juicy content that I have for you, mainly about the choice words that MJF had about WWE on a recent interview on, I believe, a radio show or some news source. Basically, to sum it up, MJF does not believe he will ever depart from AEW. He goes on to say, "What keeps me in AEW is my ability to be myself. There's no leash on me. I don't have to worry about anyone sitting me down and telling me what I am doing right or wrong, so I don't think I'll ever leave." Then on the same interview, and it was for ABC 7 in El Paso, Texas, ahead of their Texas Dynamite, I believe, is tonight, the reigning AEW World Champ used hyperbole to make a point about WWE ticket sales. For staying true to his heel persona, he mocked fans while putting over his company's more affordable pricing structure. He goes on to say, "Unlike WWE, you don't have to sell the soul of your firstborn to buy a ticket. They are normal prices. We don't discriminate against poors the same way the world champ, points to self, does. I hate you people, but somebody has to pay daddy's bills, and that's going to be people like you," he said. WWE has faced criticism from everybody, including myself, about their absolutely bonkers ticket prices. I've shown you guys graphs, comparisons to years past, where the average WrestleMania ticket price has more than quadrupled. And even from a few years ago, it has more than doubled. And that is crazy to me, considering their product has been dog shit for the last year and a half now. The Triple H honeymoon phase is over with him running things. TKO is driving WWE further and further into the dirt. And it's just not worth the price. Their product is not worth the price. Their Raw and SmackDowns are definitely not worth the price. Their PLEs for a while now, other than WWE Evolution from last year in 2025, I want to say that's probably the only PLE that was really worth the price of the ticket. Not including NXT's smaller shows, because again, that's developmental. Their staple shows of Raw and SmackDown have not been worth the price. I already showed recently how they're airing the first hour of WrestleMania for free on ESPN and ESPN2. They're doing a 25% off on tickets for certain events, and it's still not helping. It's still not working, because even a 25% off price reduction on their average cost of tickets is not enough. It's still going to be more than double what you paid for 5-10 years ago. And their product does not show the amount of improvement needed to hike up those ticket prices. If you're going to bring up your ticket prices way up here, your wrestling needs to be way up here too. If your wrestling is down here where ticket prices used to be, where people thought it was, hey, it's reasonable to go to this for this price, but the ticket prices are way up here now, and your baseline level of wrestling, it's still down there, it's not worth it. And MJF points out a thing that WWE is scared to admit is true. Ahead of Dynamite tonight, again, you guys are probably watching this post-Dynamite, but his great match against Kevin Knight is tonight, and I say great as if I've already seen it because it's MJF and Kevin Knight. Two studs under the age of 30. You know that it's going to be the best pro wrestling match of the week. I'm going to make a prediction here. Obviously, MJF is going to go over, but I think Kevin Knight is going to give him a run for his money. We're going to see a couple of near falls. And I think at some point in 2026, Kevin Knight will be a singles champ. He's not going to be tag champs forever with Speedball. Those two trios champs, Jet Speed Rodeo or Jet Set Rodeo, I forget the name of it right now. They're not going to be trios champs forever. It was essentially a way to write off Powerhouse Will Hobbs as he went to WWE. Samoa Joe is currently injured. And one knockback, one tiny thing I can be critical on AEW with is how they're handling Hook. I don't think it's very believable that this 22, 23-year-old kid, I don't know how old he is, 24. I know he's much younger than me. could suddenly be this leadership role. I know he's still very green on the mic. He's fine in the ring, very talented, just a natural like his dad, Taz. But I really feel like AEW is just kind of lost with Hook. Let me know down below if you agree with that. I could be a little harsh on him, but hey, like I said, AEW isn't perfect. I just much prefer it to WWE, but I can criticize it at times, and I feel like there are better ways to utilize Hook. Apparently, it's reported, now this is just a rumor, but we've seen it. Nothing has happened since the Royal Rumble, and that's been a month and a half since that happened. They have no creative plans for Royce Keys, formerly known as Will Hobbs. Terrible name. Terrible debut. I think was a terrible debut in the Royal Rumble because he really did nothing of significance, nothing to have the fans remember him by. And so now we're in this creative flux with Royce Keys. How are they going to debut him? I thought he was going to be on SmackDown. Maybe he's going to be on Raw. We really don't know anything. And now, I'll give WWE the benefit of the doubt. They could very well just be waiting until after WrestleMania season and the next month and a half. But even if that is the case, why have the guy debut at the Royal Rumble when you're going to do nothing with him until after WrestleMania? That's going to be 3 months' time by then before he's even doing anything to build himself in WWE. And that's the problem with WWE is WWE fans have liked to criticize AEW for years now that they take all the ex-WWE guys. Well, now the tables are turning. They really are. They're starting to take a lot of ex-AEW guys. And Penta won his first ever title finally after 13 and a half months, which we'll get to that in a minute. He's the only one that's really done anything significant on the main roster. Everyone else is either over in NXT Purgatory, like Ricky Starks and Ethan Page, and Mariah May, now Blake Monroe. They've won titles over there, but again, it's developmental, meant for the younger kids, essentially, the young 20-somethings over there. And they're all in their, Ethan Page anyway, and Ricky Starks are in their 30s. I think Ethan Page is like 35. I forget how old Mariah May or Blake Monroe is, but you get the point. They have been stuck down there where you see guys like Danhausen completely jump all of them. I've read a rumor that it was upsetting Ricky Starks. I think that's just a rumor, so don't quote me for it. But even if that isn't true, you got to think there's probably some truth to it, that all those guys that jumped from AEW to WWE are either stuck in NXT or they're not being utilized, like Will Hobbs. You let me know down below what you think about that situation. Now on to the highlights of Raw. I'm going to say this. This was the best Raw of 2026, and probably the best Raw that they've had in months. And now, that's a very low bar, because usually Raw is dreadful. It's just complete ass to watch. I can never finish it, and that's why I don't even watch it live anymore. I just end up watching highlights on YouTube, and sometimes I get bored even going through 40-minute highlights that are a 2.5 hour episode of Raw condensed down into that time frame, and it's still too much for me to get through. We saw Penta defeat Dominic Mysterio, IC champ, first belt in the company. Thank God. This is finally something good that I can praise WWE for. It should have been done at least half a year ago, but better late than never. Penta is your new IC champ. I just hope the fucking God this isn't a transition role for him where he loses it right at WrestleMania to somebody else. Please let him retain the title if he defends at WrestleMania, which he should. I feel like all belts should be on the line at their biggest show of the year, especially now that it's 2 nights. Have him retain, though. Do not have him drop it in only a month and a half's time. That would be a complete fail on their end. Penta deserves to have this title for a long time. And we saw Danhausen, a complete 180. His debut, say what you want about him. You may hate him. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. His debut was a flop. It was bad. The booze at the end shows it. But I will say they did much better on Raw. He had a very funny backstage segment. He ended up cursing Dominic Mysterio right before the match. Maybe not right before, but the same night of the match. And he's 1-0 in curses. It's a funny little gimmick. But I don't see Danhausen going much further in this. However, He's perfect for WWE and sports entertainment because he is apparently the #1 merch selling t-shirt right now on shopwwe.com. Say what you want about Danhausen, but he is going to move merch for them. It's probably why they signed him. Like I said in my last video, he's perfect for the PG sports entertainment product that WWE is. I'm sure a lot of kids have wanted his shirt, a lot of Danhausen diehard fans. So congrats there for him. And we'll just see really what happens with his career in WWE. But now on to the negative of Raw. We saw luchadors, like a hot and cold thing, a love-hate sort of Raw, because yes, on one side, I'm glad Penta won the title, but on the other side, you saw an unmasking by Gunther. I really don't like this. I think it's been overdone. It's been done plenty of times now. It doesn't need to keep happening, where Gunther, I know he's a heel, but a long time ago, Randy Orton made the move of unmasking Rey Mysterio. Now Gunther shocked the world by unmasking Dragon Lee. Again, I don't think that was needed, especially with how young Dragon Lee is. He hasn't had like a phenomenal career like Rey Mysterio has before he finally ended up being unmasked. So I don't think that this was needed. Again, Penta finally champ, yes. But the majority of the time, WWE does not know what in the hell to do with their luchadors, and they joke around with them more than anything than taking the art of luchador wrestling seriously, and it very much upsets me. Seth Rollins was the guy that attacked them at the Elimination Chamber, and on Raw, he took out Paul Heyman, made him bleed, had a bunch of masked men jump in. God damn, was this just a fucking headache. I joked around with this on my last video, I believe, or 2 videos ago, where I said that, how long is it going to be until they have another masked man jump in storyline? 8 weeks, I think is what I said. It was literally the following episode of Raw. We're going to continue with this masked man stuff. Seth Rollins is reportedly going to be going back to his earlier gimmick when he was Beast Slayer and everything, when he took on Brock Lesnar and things like that. I do like that. I will say that I enjoy that Rollins versus the flashy Rollins with the music and the chants and the too much entertainment-focused side of Rollins. Get back to the original Seth Rollins gimmick, and I'll be on board with that. Maybe it could save the Vision, because I think the Vision storyline, the Vulnerable is what I call them now, has been a complete waste of my fucking time. CM Punk is building his feud with Roman Reigns for WrestleMania. He says he'll bury Roman Reigns next to his father. Christian Cage was probably somewhere watching that being like, well, hey, wait a minute. And Trick Williams is apparently going to be wrestling Sami Zayn, are the rumored reports, for WrestleMania. As long as he goes over Sami Zayn, I think Sami Zayn is a vacuum when it comes to pro wrestling, because he just sucks. But he just sucks the life and the fun out of it. I don't find him entertaining. I think he's extremely bland on the mic. I don't think he's really all that good in the ring. He was 10 years ago, but he's just not that good to me anymore. So, silver lining, I just hope that Trick Williams comes out on top at WrestleMania if this indeed becomes a match, because they need to do much better at pushing their young stars. Give Trick Williams a win, make Obafemi wrestle Brock Lesnar and beat him. That's a couple of ideas off the top of my head that they could use to build their younger stars. But that's pretty much it about WWE news as well. I just hope that they can somehow make WrestleMania 42 at least somewhat watchable, although I doubt it. And the pace that they're heading on with these masked men storyline stories, essentially, is if they keep going at this, we're going to see a masked man versus masked man main event at WrestleMania 43. Or we're going to see Jack Black return as Nacho Libre to wrestle Grande Americano at WrestleMania 43 in Riyadh. Obviously jokes, but am I really all that far off? To end this video, let me know down below what your favorite match was of Dynamite, because again, you're probably watching this after it goes off the air. That's all I had for all of you guys in this episode of Screw the Script. Let me know down below if you agree with MJF's statements, or if you agree with any of the other things that I said in this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share my video too if you've ever shared it. Continue to share it if you haven't. It would help me a lot. And again, keep engaging and comment on other people's comments. I am just there to 1,400 subscribers. I think I'm 2 away at the time of recording this. So I'm hoping by the end of the night I will have 1,400. I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I can't believe that I've already gained 400 subscribers almost since hitting 1,000, which was just only a little over 2 months ago. So let's keep the momentum going. As always, this has been Maverick with Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.